What's up, Matt from Merchfab here. In today's video I'm going to be finishing off the last bit of painting on the Mini, painting the wheel arches and getting those fitted. And rather than doing my usual method of winging it in my dusty workshop, I've come down to Straight Image Autobody to use the spray booth, and Adam's going to give me some tuition on how to actually paint in a professional environment and hopefully get a decent result first time round. So first job is this is mixing up some wet on wet primer. So this will just get sprayed straight on. You don't even really need to let it dry for very long, and then you go straight over the top with top coat. First thing I noticed is the level of sort of preparation. Even putting the panel wipe on, Adam would use two different rags for each panel, and then put the panel wipe on with one, clean it off with the next, and then use clean rags on each piece so that you're not taking contamination from one arch to the next. So then he was basically just giving me a demo of how to apply the primer, and it's just good to get that visual reference as to sort of where I need to hold the gun. And from doing my welding classes, I can definitely say that, like, you can watch as many videos as you want, but you learn so much more actually in the presence of someone that can watch you and pick out the things you're doing wrong. So I was interested to see how Adam would mix the paint. I found that I had to add more thinners than the recommended amount to get like a fine mist coming out of my gun, whereas Adam mixed it exactly to what it recommended on the tin, and said that the paint looked the right consistency. And this is him just setting the gun up with the air pressure and the amount of paint flowing out of it. And this is where the skill really comes into it. So even though the paint looked thicker when he mixed it, the mist coming out of the gun, the atomization of the paint was just so much better. So here he's just correcting my gun angle for me and showing me how it should be looking. And again, having someone just hand you a perfectly set up gun just makes things so much easier. So some of that might be the gun itself, but I think most of it is just knowing how to set the gun up to get the correct spray pattern and atomization. But yeah, massive difference. So we're doing one light coat initially, and then two heavy coats after. So Adam's just showing me how to move across a panel and keep the gun at the correct angle, rather than turning the gun with my hand and just moving my arm. Instead, you've got to try and move your whole body across to maintain that sort of consistent gun position. And this is the final coat going on now, and it's looking really glossy and good. And this is me putting into practice what Adam's just told me to do. Now I'm looking on in amazement at the fact that I don't seem to have any paint runs whatsoever, which is definitely a first. So yeah, just need to say thanks to Adam for letting me come down and actually teaching me how to do it properly. And yeah, definitely learnt a lot, and it's by far the best results I've ever got from painting. And I think you're going to be seeing quite a bit more of Adam and Adam's place in the new year, so that should be good. Alright, so I've got the arches all painted, looking absolutely mint. That's the best results from painting that I've ever had, for sure. I've put this little clear edging strip on, which is just like a little adhesive backed trim just to stop it scratching the body. I even cut this bottom corner for the one on the back. So this back corner sort of previously was angled down, so they sort of they sloped downwards at the back, and it just looked a bit odd. So I cut that, got them fitting really nice. I just made these little aluminium brackets that are bolted on, and then I'm just going to rivet them straight on. Same deal here, rivets in the front bit, and then this one will be bolted, just obviously so that you can lift the whole front off. When you undo these, this sort of flexes out a little bit, and it will just give clearance to be able to take the whole front off with the full arch intact. So just working on the breather system. Got my Owens Fabrications 2-litre catch can installed, and then I've got breather on this side that comes down to the transfer case, and then I've got timing cover breather there, which I've got to tie into this tube which is coming across here. So I just made a little T-piece to just connect those two. So I like using these crimp style fittings on anything that, you know, these ones don't need to be removed. So got all the brakes just about sorted on this side, which involved getting a new disc and machining the disc down to fit, but I've got everything working. I have found out that you can buy everything which will bolt on directly from Mini Sport, but this is just a cheaper way of doing it, and I've got a lathe, so it's not a big issue. I've got mini spares carbon brake pads in there, and obviously these pins are too small, so I need to source some bigger pins for those. But I'm just going to replicate this now on the other side. So I've got to take 12mm off the outer edge and then 5mm off of this front face to basically bring the disc into the center of where the caliper sits. I use this to basically force the disc really hard against the face of the chuck jaws when I tighten it, and that just ensures that the disc is obviously 100% flat to this without having to get like a dial indicator and clocking it all in. So I'll do this face first, so I'll just touch off on there and then set my 0 on this little indicator down here. So I had to grind a bit off the edge of these to get them to actually fit in the calipers, and then grind these corners off to get them to sit in. But sorted. So yeah, quite a lot of faff to get those to work, but they're in there. Done, everything's lined up. Looks good. So we can bleed them now. So we find out if we got any leaks. Right, so front brakes sorted. The rear brakes, I need to get another wheel cylinder for this side. For some reason I've put a new one on one side, this one's got an old one on it. I can't get any fluid through it, so I've ordered that. I've got the clutch bled, and the pedal is so heavy I actually thought something was jammed in here, and I didn't want to, like, you know, push it full pressure on the pedal in case it broke something, but it's just that the pedal is that heavy. Feels like an old tractor clutch, so maybe I'll just have to strengthen up the old left leg muscle. Right, so next video, I should be in a position where I can have a little rip up the lane in this. Got these last few little bits to sort out. A couple of little bits to order. Got to look at this clutch and my master cylinder. I'm pretty sure that must be wrong with how heavy that clutch feels under your foot. It's nice to see it on the floor with his arches on. Need to get wheel alignment done, set the ride height, stuff like that. But we are getting really close now. Just need to say congratulations to Pete Webb on winning the welder raffle. Pete came down, had a day here, learning how to TIG weld, and randomly Pete actually built a Ford 100E about 20 years ago on a Sierra floor pan, which he's still got now, which has got a Cosworth engine in it, which is very similar to that. So yeah, that was a bit of a coincidence. That's going to be it for this one. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one.